To our deputy mayor. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Clayton. Good afternoon and welcome. Just as a reminder, if anyone is interested in participating in future media briefings, simply contact the mayor's office at 630-256-3010 or go to our website, www.aurora-il.org/deputy mayor. Each month, we're going to begin with a poem by our poet, Aurora Poet Laureate, or one of the Deputy Poet Laureates. Today, we have Aurora Poet Laureate, Karen Christensen, with us, who's been very, very busy running around town, and she was sworn in last month as our first Aurora Poet Laureate. Today, she's here to recite a poem in tribute to the one-year anniversary of the Henry Pratt tragedy. Karen? Give her a hand.
So this is actually, I wrote this because I was thinking about the families of the survivors and the fact that for the rest of their lives, the anniversary of this tragedy is the day after Valentine's Day. So it's called Hearts and Flowers. Valentine's Day hearts and fragrant flowers are on display, but this year is different. While others bask in the warmth of their lovers' sweet surprises, some of us sit with empty arms and broken spirits, longing to turn back the clock to the day before life was shattered, before time stopped for eternity. Condolence cards and songs of mourning have done their work. Caring, compassion, outpourings of sympathy helped ease the pain. But the hole never closes. Yes, we will go on. We will keep walking. But we'll never forget. We'll never stop loving. In visions and prayers, we will always remember. Our hearts and flowers will always belong to dreams of you.
Thank you very much, Karen. That was beautiful. So every month we do our best to address a quality of life issue or topic. And this month's quality of life topic is we're going to talk about the extension of actually a conversation we had last month regarding our municipal electrical aggregation. Just to bring everybody up to speed, letters have been distributed and the rollout process is in its beginning stages. Members of the Mayor's Sustainability Aurora Advisory Board and the City of Aurora will co-host an aggregation open house this month so that anyone interested can speak directly to representatives from Eligo, who is our electrical supplier, and also we'll speak to our consultant as well, who will be there, about aggregation and the benefits of using renewable energy. Today, I am happy to have the City of Aurora planner and our Sustainable Aurora liaison, Alex Manila, to talk about the open house coming up. Alex?
Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
The City of Aurora has a history of forward and sustainability conscious thinking. We have ran aggregation programs from 2012 till 2016. We track history of performances. When that program in 2016 ended, the city still continued to look for an opportunity to restart the popular initiative. Neighboring communities have recently explored and joined aggregation programs. Among them, just to list a few, Tinley Park, Oak Park, Oswego, Arlington Heights. Something is happening here. Not too long ago, the city approved a resolution to authorize the execution of an agreement with Progressive Energy Group for the provision of electricity aggregation services and a master power agreement with Eligo Energy IL LLC. As Chuck briefly alluded earlier, we had previously announced that the City of Aurora is resuming its municipal aggregation program, a new 100% green energy program, and we want to provide residents the opportunity to further learn and understand the program to invest in the future. Now, English and Spanish-speaking representatives from Eligo and Progressive, along with city staff representation, will welcome residents to the aggregation night, an open house that hopes to escape any doubts any residents may have and then build momentum. The open house will take place on Wednesday, February 26, 2020 at the Prisco Community Center, room 103 from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. We hope to see you there. Thank you.
Any questions for Alex at all? Any questions regarding the aggregation program? Steve?
Chuck, did you say they should all have gotten their letters by now, residents?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. The majority of the letters went out during January. Residents had about 30 days to determine whether or not they wanted to either go into the program or opt out. And I think most of those cards have been returned now, and so residents that are in the program should be receiving letters from Commonwealth Edison indicating that from this point forward, Elego will be their supplier. Nothing else will change. The billing will continue to come from Commonwealth Edison. So that's where we're at right now.
Do you have numbers or an estimate even on how many are decided to opt in, or a percentage even?
Yeah, I can give you some information. Now this is dated a little bit, Steve, but as far as I know, there were 53,465 letters that were sent out by Elego, and those letters went out from December 2nd to the December 27th. 21,102 households and or small businesses received the opt-out letters. And those were the letters basically that told the residents that you're going into the program unless you voluntarily want to opt out. 25,977 households or small businesses received informational letters basically informing them that they're going to stay with Commonwealth Edison. So basically those were regarded as what we call information letters. 6,386 households and or small businesses received opt-out letters. Now those letters went to residents who are with another supplier besides ComEd. So it was my understanding that when we got together last time, which was about 5 weeks ago or so, according to Elego, they were very pleased. I can't give you the number in terms of how many people have decided to stay in the program, but they were very pleased with the results so far at that time. One thing, as Alex indicated, we've been going around meeting with various neighborhood groups over the past month. We've been attending ward meetings in Ward 7 and Ward 2, and the question has come up regarding communication barriers with members of our Hispanic community. So knowing that, we were able to reach out to Elego and also Progressive Energy Group and ask them if they'd be willing to put on an open house where we would have that ability to translate and get the information out to those who need it. So I'm very happy with Alex's support in terms of getting this open house organized. We are hoping to get a nice turnout. More importantly, I think people have the opportunity to find out a little bit more about renewable energy and its benefits. So I hope I answered your question, Steve.
Sure.
I gave you a lot of information there.
But it sounds like though the open house is going to be more information on the program as a whole and the green energy. The question of whether to opt out or not they would already have decided, right?
Yeah, well, residents that are in the program will have the opportunity to opt out anytime over the next 18 months of the program. So, and those residents who decided to opt out certainly can come, they can attend that meeting, and if they decide they want to go back in the program, maybe after they've had the opportunity to having some questions answered or concerns addressed, they might be able to get back in the program again. Okay, any other questions on that? Very good. So, we switched to a community-wide topic. By mid-March, everyone will receive an invitation to complete the 2020 census online, by phone, or by mail. We've never had free opportunities before, so hopefully we can take advantage of this. The invitation looks like this, and I believe Clayton has some samples that we can pass out to the media and anyone else who's interested. This is what the form will look like. The census must be completed by April 1st. Well, let me back up here a little bit. Each ballot will be specific to the residents and has specific census ID For each residence, the census must be completed by April 1st. If there is not a response from that particular address by April 1st, a census worker will be sent to the residence in the month of April. There has been a number of census forums held since the beginning of the year, including 2 this past weekend, hosted by the League of Women's Voters on Saturday, and 1 held on Sunday by the Alliance of Predominantly African American Organizations, including the Quad County Urban League and the DuPage County NAACP. There will be more community forums planned over the next month through our Complete Count Committee, headed by Dr. Brian Caputo and Angie Thomas. And our neighborhood groups and our community partners will be participating as well. And we really are grateful to our aldermen. We have 2 aldermen, Alderman Donnell and Alderman Art Burns, that are here tonight. We greatly appreciate any invitations. I know both of you have been doing a remarkable job promoting the census and the reason for the census. The city has included a reminder about the census in every water bill for about 50,000 residences over the course of the next month. A big thanks goes to our finance department and our community services department for their efforts. And B, thank you very much. I don't know if anyone's here from the finance department. We want to thank them too as well. So thank you very much, B, for doing that. The city and the Complete Count Committee will also be sending a community-wide newsletter in English and in Spanish to every household and business in Aurora in early March to highlight the same information and to underscore the importance of the census. For every person not counted equals $1,800 a year or $18,000 over a course of a decade that we will not receive in our community. Now that's very important. So for every person we do not count, that means over a course of 10 years, $18,000 in both federal and state revenue not coming back to our city. So it's very, very important that we certainly do our best. And as Mayor Irvin said recently, we need to collectively put forward our best efforts to ensure that every Auroran is counted. So any questions on the census? And again, I want to thank the aldermen for their assistance and participation in getting the word out too as well. There's nothing more powerful than going to these neighborhood meetings with the ward aldermen and having that face-to-face contact with members of our community. So as most of you know, we try to focus on an organization in our community that's doing a lot of good work. Our Community Spotlight organization today is of the Cosmopolitan Club of Aurora. Today I am very proud to have Russell George here to explain a little bit more about the mission of the Cosmopolitan Club and what they have been coming up with and what they have been doing in our community for the past 93 years. Russ, it's all yours. Come on up. Give him a hand, please.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to allow me to speak about our club. We're 50 members strong at this point, trying to get to 100. Our club started in 1927. I joined this club in 1967, so I'm kind of an old timer. I did put together when we hit 90 years, we did a little publication. We went way back into history. It's kind of some interesting reading of what went on in Aurora back in those days. The club in 1927 through the early 50s fed all the children at the Edna Smith home. There were 40 orphans over there that they took care of. From there they moved on to rebuilding the Tanner House. The Tanner House was in total disrepair, and between all the craftsmen in the club, they brought that back up. And when I joined the club in '67, the first job they gave me was mowing the lawn on Wednesdays and trimming the bushes on Saturday. So it didn't take me long to find somebody else to join to take that job over. But anyway, our club has come a long ways. We've moved on into diabetes in the 70s. The international organization took that on as a project. They built a brick and mortar building for the University of Missouri in Columbia, and that's where it all started. And from there, we built a few other large projects around, but right now our club is working in the local community. We found there's a great need to bring about an awareness of diabetes. A lot of people don't have diabetes, they don't want to talk about it, but it's important to get it out, and we've done a whole lot of different things to try to promote things. We have an upcoming event at the ice hockey, the Chicago Steel, on March the 7th. Tickets are $25, and you even get 3 50-50 raffle tickets with that. But there'll be about 2,500 people in attendance that particular night, and our main task is to have a table there and provide information about diabetes. And our club has put together a reference guide, which right now is in English, and we were working on the Spanish version. And within this booklet is all the information you would ever have to know about diabetes, or the questions that you might have if you feel like you may have diabetes. All this material is over there. You're welcome to a copy if you would like it. We also have another event coming up on April 24th on a Friday. It's a wine tasting event, and you can taste some beers too. We do have some beers down there you can taste, but it's a great thing. It's a $30 ticket. There's basket raffles. We raffle off 4 tickets to the Cubs game, including a jersey, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff in that particular basket. And we started out last year in July. We had an event at Sycamore Speedway. We had over 2,500 people there, and we handed out the booklet and information about diabetes. We were well received, and our international magazine even gave us a full page of the event we held. It was such a great success. We're also very happy to announce that the ADA, American Diabetes Association of Illinois, their executive director out of Chicago, has joined our club, and we hope that that will help us promote our diabetes cause even further. And they are working currently with Chuck to get this Tour de Corps set up and going in Aurora, and they're very interested in participating in a lot more events in Aurora. So I think as time goes on, you're going to find that diabetes will be talked about a lot more in our community. I don't know how much you know, but really Hispanic people are more prone to diabetes than anybody else, and we have a large population in that matter, and most people, believe it or not, do not even know they have diabetes. That's the scary thing. And we had a World Diabetes Day event in November 14th at SciTech. We had an alert dog there, and we had on-site testing, and there, Mike Leonardi was there speaking, and a lot of people came to hear him talk, and this alert dog kept poking at this one gentleman that was there. We talked him into having a test, and they rushed him to the hospital right from our event. I mean, that's how bad he was. We got a nice letter from his wife thanking us that he might not be alive today if they wouldn't have attended the event. So that's what it's all about, and we're always looking for members, and if you have diabetes, it's a nice group to belong to. We do talk about diabetes. We're not afraid to talk about it at all. So again, I appreciate your inviting me here, and any information that we have is on the table, and if you have any questions.
So the dog can smell, detect?
Oh, yes. These alert dogs, we have one of the members in the club has an alert dog, which the club purchased for that particular individual. Those dogs are so sharp. This young man was 4 years old when he got the dog. He spent at least 36 weekends in the hospital trying to control his blood sugar. They got the dog, and within a year later, he went twice in a year to the hospital. That dog knows exactly, and I mean, I've watched that dog work, and it's very interesting. These dogs are just like any other pet, but they put a vest on and they go to work, and it's like a real working person. And they take the vest off, and that dog just jumps all over and raises hell.
Any other questions?
You say there's the International House, did you call it? What'd you, the place that you said there's I think you said it was in Columbia?
Well, we have our international organization, which is based out of Omaha, Nebraska at this particular point in time. Originally was in Overland Park, just outside of Kansas City. And the first diabetes project that the international organization took on, of which the Aurora Club did raise money for, was in Columbia, Missouri, part of the University of Missouri.
I got you.
Russ, you want to talk about the partnerships you have here with some of our local healthcare facilities?
Well, we're currently we have Rush Copley. We're working with their educational center and providing some funds for underinsured people there. in the past, and we have worked with, well, it's Amita now, it was Mercy back then, but we set up a trust fund with them for $10,000 to help uninsured people get diabetic supplies. And we're currently working with Amita now to get some partnerships back with them, and so far it's been pretty successful. And VNA, Visiting Nurse Association, if you've never been to that complex at the old Barbara Green building over there, you can't believe the educational center they have. They bring people in and teach them how to cook if you're a diabetic. They teach you how to cook your food to make you a much healthier diabetic. So they're sending a person in to join, and we also partner with the University of Chicago, the Culver Diabetes Center. We've raised thousands of dollars for their research department there, and they're working on a worldwide cure for diabetes. I don't know how much you people know. I'm not really a doctor either, but I know that people in the United States, they're made up a little bit different maybe than someone over in Europe or something. But so they're working on a cure for type 2 diabetes that will work worldwide. And in some of these countries, people just die every day from diabetes because they don't even know what it's even all about.
Any other questions? Yeah, thank you.
Again,
Thank you very much,
thank you
Russ.
very much for having me.
Russ, thank you very much for what you do. And full disclaimer, I am a Cosmo member, so I greatly appreciate everything the club does. And I can tell you that these people that make up the membership of the club are very, very active in our community, so I'm very proud to be a member. So as we come to a close of our media briefing, we always like to spotlight our veterans. So I'd like to conclude the briefing today with a shout out to veterans in our community. This month, we'd like to recognize all veterans who are working for the City of Aurora. Let's give it up for them. They have served our country and then returned to serve our community in a variety of different positions and things like that, and different services. Some of them are on active duty. Some of them are active duty on reserve as well. And I think we have a couple employees that are currently serving in that role. In total, the city currently has 119 veterans working here, including our mayor, Mayor Richard C. Irvin. 86 of those veterans work in public safety, 33 in the fire department, and 53 in the police department. And 33 other veterans work throughout the city in various capacities. Just a handful of them are with us today, so when I call your name, will you please come up and join me at the podium? Liz Coronado. Liz is our Assistant Director of Human Resources. Alejandro Olvera from our Public Works Department. Tim Forbes from our Public Works Department. Jim Burchell from our Public Works Department. Jim, come on up. Ron Bergstrom, is Ron here? I didn't see Ron walk in. All right, Ron works on Development Services. Yeah, let's give him a hand. Fabella Gandaria? Fabella? Yeah, there she is. Yeah, good. I get a chance to see her smiling face every morning as I walk in the lobby, so glad you could join us. Derek Winston. Derek's here, I think, right? From Public Properties. Thank you, Derek. And Keith Fortman from Finance. Come on up, Keith. Yeah, there's another guy. Always has a smiling face. I am honored to announce that during May, which is Military Appreciation Month, not only will City Hall host our annual Memorial Day Parade, but we'll also have 3 additional city recognition events. The 3rd annual Medal of Valor Awards will recognize graduating high school seniors who have enlisted in the military, and I'm sure if you've been present for that event, it is very, very moving. As Mayor Irvin announced at the memorial ceremony for Specialist Miguel Villon 2 weeks ago, this year we'll also host an event to recognize our Gold Star families here in the city of Aurora. And the 3rd event we will host and we will recognize the City of Aurora staff members, our staff members here, and many more other city staff members that have served in our military.
And we have a number of them still here. We have Mike Piggies, Chief Information
Oh, I'm
Officer.
sorry, yeah.
Come
Oh,
on down, Mike.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deputy Chief.
Sorry, yeah. Mike Piggies is here. Mike, come on up. Mike's our IT guy. He's the main man. Deputy Chief Keith Jackson, come on up. Come on up. All right, good. Oh, yeah. All right, and Jeff Chestnut, my main man over there. Come on up, Jeff. My apologies, but thank you. Thank you very much for being here, and stay up here. I am honored to announce that during May, we will host our annual Memorial Day Parade, and we will have these 3 additional recognition events. So we talked about the Medal of Valor, Mayor Irvin. We also will have a special event for our Gold Star families. And the 3rd event, we will recognize city staff members, as I just indicated. We genuinely want to thank all of you for your service to our country and your service to our community. I'd like to start down here, maybe Mike with you. Can you announce your branch of service? And you're going to have to yell it out, Mike.
Regular Army, 82nd Airborne Division. Move y'all.
Does that mean you jumped out of planes, Mike?
That does. 35
Geez, all right. Jim?
Navy, surface warfare. Regular Army, 1st Cavalry.
Thank you.
Navy.
Air Force, currently serving in Minneapolis, or Madison, Wisconsin currently.
Very good.
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps.
Army.
Army.
Air Force.
Let's give them a big round. We look forward to honoring them during National Veterans Appreciation Month, again, as I indicated in May, and having them join the Memorial Day Parade with the rest of our City Hall veterans. Thank you very much, all of you. Thanks for coming. One other thing to add, too, regarding our veterans, I was asked to mention that the American Legion Roosevelt Post 84 will have a ribbon cutting on Friday, February 28th at their new home located at 1 East Benton, the former Aurora Public Library. The Post has been around for 101 years, I believe, and been doing wonderful things in our community. Last but not least, we all know that the temperatures are falling. We're actually going to have a typical winter night tonight. We're going to go below 0, so as Clayton has done in the past, we do have information on our warming centers on the city's website. And I do want to make mention, I was made aware just before I came down that the Aurora Historical Society will be hosting a community gathering this Saturday at 1 p.m. at the David L. Pierce Center located at 20 East Downer. This is in regards to the Henry Pratt tragedy marking the 1-year anniversary. You can call the Historical Society at 630-906-0650 or go to their website for more information, and that's at ahs@aurorahistory.net. Are there any other questions at all before we wrap it up here? Karen? Yes, please.
This is really for the media. I wanted to tell you, you can get the word out, and I've got some stuff that I can give you. One of the promises that we made when I was installed as Poet Laureate is that we would adopt a program that had been started by Billy Collins when he was the U.S. Poet Laureate, which was a poem a day. So if you go to Facebook, thank you, Clayton, we have our own Facebook page, Aurora Poet Laureate. Please like the page, and I'm posting a poem every single morning. So by 7:30 in the morning, you can read a poem. So far, all the work is original by the 4, myself and then the 3 other laureates. But the other thing that I want help, and the more likes we get, the more recognition we get throughout the country. It is unusual for a municipality the size of Aurora to have a Poet Laureate, so this is important. The other thing that I want to get the word out to, and I've got handouts for you, the Fox Valley Music Foundation, of which I'm a board member, we're going to be partnering with some local musicians and local poets to do an event on Sunday, April 26th. It's going to be a jazz poetry event. April is National Poetry Month, and what I'm looking for are young people from the age of kindergarten through college who are writers. So I've got the guidelines for submitting poems. The deadline for the competition, it's not really competition, the deadline for outreach is March 31st. I've got 1-page guidelines. I'd love to get the word out to as many kids in the community as possible. So help spread that word. Okay,
Ka-
thank you.
Karen?
Yep.
How do you get to that, to the Facebook, your Facebook page or the poet?
Aurora Poet Laureate.
But- Oh, okay, so
That's
you
it.
don't have to go through the city's.
No, so,
Facebook
which
page.
was a good idea, yeah, you don't have to go to my personal, Facebook
So Aurora
page.
Poet Laureate.
Aurora Poet Laureate. Okay. But help me get the word out to kids, to writers, and, I just think it would be so great, we've got, Chanson du Chat, John Papadolius, who's a local jazz musician, is gonna be doing performances. If you've ever been to any of the poetry readings that we do throughout the community, we usually do a few minutes of poetry, a few minutes of music, so people don't fall asleep with the poetry. But there's a nice break, but we've got enough time that we could feature 12 kids, and I just think it would be so cool. The one other thing that I wanna mention, I'm sorry for,
That's all
but
right.
you all know me, I mean, give me a microphone, I'm here.
We have about 1 minute left. 1 minute.
Okay, all right.
Hurry up.
I have applied for a fellowship from the Academy of American Poets, which hopefully would bring some money to the city so we could actually do some programs. In the meantime, in the event we don't get the fellowship, I've asked the city's grant writer to help try to find us some money so we could do things, but we really, really, really want to work with kids. So if you've got kids that are interested in writing, contact me. You can do it through Facebook, you can do it through my personal email. I'm happy to get out and talk to kids about writing. In fact, I'll be doing a workshop at the Eola Road Library on March 7th for kids from grades 3 through 6. Okay? So, anyway.
All right, that wraps it up. Thank you very much for, and I mean this sincerely, thank you very much for those of you who came inside from the cold and being here today. And of course, I want to thank all our city employees. And remember to fill out that overtime slip. I don't think you have overtime right now, so overtime. But anyway, thank you very much for